Hi, good afternoon. This is Mr. Cassidy, and today I'm going to be going over Chapter 9, Lesson 4, Univariate Data, and how we can analyze that in a method called the five-number summary, or the box and whisker. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so what is univariate data? So let's go over that. Univariate data means you've got a survey that goes out that maybe the answer might just be a single number for a lot of people. So if you asked, 10 people how many shoes they have, and we got a list of their answers, that would be univariate data. And we just have this list of numbers. So one person has 4 shoes, one person has 3, one person has 0 shoes, one person has 2 shoes. One person has 8 pairs of shoes. Another person has 4, and one more person has 1 pair of shoes. That would be univariate data. It's just like a single number as the answer to a survey. And we got a lot of different ways we can display it. The first way I'd like to go over is called a dot plot. I'm not going to have you practice making it since it's really simple. But you're just going to create a number line, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it should go all the way up to the max. And above each number, we're going to put an X where the data belongs. So I just sort of cross them off as I go. Okay, 3 goes here, 4 here, 0, 2, 8, 4, 4. Now, what we see here is this just is a simple way to look at the data, and we put all the 4s stacked on top. And as you get into IM1, you're going to start looking at the shape of that data, whether it's evenly distributed or whether it's more spread out. A few common ways we see it is we see a stack of data that is symmetrical. So symmetrical means it looks sort of the same on the left as it does on the right. And that's normally what most data looks like. You've got sort of a middle area and it spreads out to either side. But then sometimes we get data that is skewed. Skewed data means it trails off to one side or the other. So if it starts high and goes low, it trails off. We call it skewed. Same deal if it was starting high on the right and going down on the left. Okay, so univariate data is single number answers, and we analyze that data using many different things. So dot plots, we're not going to do any in this lesson, but honestly, you can practice. You could look at a set of data and just check the numbers to see which dot plot is the correct one, representation of the data. All right, so let's begin. Here's an example. We've got the ages of people in movie theaters, and they might just be analyzing who's coming to this movie, 16, 15, and so on. Some of the ways we break down univariate data are mean, median, mode, and range. So let's do the mean first. The mean is the average. One way I remember that it's the average is by, a student made this up, I didn't do it. They said average people are mean. I don't know if that was mean itself, but I have always remembered that average people are mean, so it helps me remember that when we say mean, we mean the average. And so how do we find the average? Well, we're going to add up all the numbers. So we're adding up all the ages, and this is going to give us a number for like the center most age. An average, like your average grade, is the center of it all. So I would take the sum of all these, 56 plus 19 plus 19. And even though 19 is repeated, I'm still going to do it twice. Oh, I can't draw that far right. Okay. So first I find the sum of those. Go ahead and calculate the sum and type your answer on the right. Okay. And you should have come up with 16 plus 15. 212. is the sum of those numbers. Now, what we do next to find the mean is we divide it by the number of numbers. So in this case, how many numbers are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So to find the average, we divide it by 8. This would be like also used to find your average grades. They add up all the grades, and then they divide it by the number of grades. So that gives you your average, or your grade point average too. It's calculated very similarly. So go ahead and calculate 212 divided by 8, and what do you get? Okay, you should have gotten 26.5. So the average age of this movie theater at this movie is 26.5. Okay, to find the median, we're going to find the median a little bit of a different way. First, I need to put the numbers in order. So my lowest number is 15. And I just sort of cross them off as I go. I found this is the easiest way to go. 16. We have 19, 19, and you have to list 19 twice. 19, 19. Next we have, looks like 24, 30, 33, and 56. And I usually double check, I count to make sure I got the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, I have all 8 there. So to find the median, what you want to do is you sort of pair them up, the first one with the last one. What I do, and I can't do this on the screen, is I put my finger on the first one and the last one, and then I work my way in. So then I would be at 16 and 33, 19 and 30. And I put my fingers right here. And what you're going to do is if you get in between two, now sometimes you'll reach a middle number and you'll circle it. In this case, it's in between 19 and 24. So what you're going to want to do is find the average or the middle between 19 and 24. So 19 plus 24 divided by 2. So 19 plus 24 is, go ahead and calculate that. 19 plus 24 is 43. And when you divide that by 2, you get 21.5. 21.5 is the median. Okay, so let's take a quick second to practice. I'm going to go ahead and write it in on the side here. Actually, maybe I could do it this way. Let's try that. Oh, no, I can't get there yet. Yeah. Well, let's continue with our examples, and then we'll get to our practice. So, mode is the most common. Mode and most both start with MO, so mode is the most common number, and so we're just looking for what number repeats, and it's 19 here. So mode would be 19. And last, range. To find the range, we're going to take the biggest number, 56. It helps to look back at the numbers in order. And we're going to subtract 15 because that's the smallest. We take the biggest and we subtract the smallest. And that just shows us how far apart those numbers are. So in this case, the range of ages would be 56 minus 15 is 41. That's our range. Okay, now I know I threw a lot of info at you. We're going to do one by one on the next page. So let me go ahead and get there. And here we are. Let me clear the ink. So here we have the ages of actors in a play. 5, 16, 15, 26, and 32. Go ahead and find the mean. First, find the sum and divide it by the number of numbers. All right. So you should have found that the mean is 5 plus 16 plus 32 plus 15 plus 26 plus 32. You should have gotten 126 as the sum and then divided it by 6. And you would have gotten that the mean here is 21. Okay, next, find the median. First, put the numbers in order. I'll do that here. And find the median. So we've got 5, 15, 16, and 26, 32, 32. 32. Okay, go and find the median. All right. You should have realized it was in between 16 and 26. Then you take the average of those, and you should have gotten 16 plus 26 divided by 2. In this case, you would get 42 divided by 2 is 21. 21 is our median. All right, next, find the mode. What's the mode here? You should have said 32 because 32 is repeated twice. Last, what is the range? You should have said that the range is 32 minus 5, which is 27. Okay, so those are many of the numbers we can find, and as you get into higher math, you're going to interpret those numbers much more, but hopefully that's a quick review for you of mean, median, mode, and range. Our next idea is called the 5-number summary. And with this many numbers, it might take me a minute, but it's worth doing well. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to need these numbers in order. So I look for the lowest number. Again, I cross off as I go. It looks like it's 68. All right, from there, I've got 69 comes next. And then I have 70 here. Repeat them if they do repeat. 71 is just on there once. 71. Next is 72, 72. All right. Next is 73, 74. 3, 74. And we have 75, 75, 75, 75. Wow, 4 75s in a row. 75. Am I going to run out of room here to write 75? I might. And then I have 2 76s. Oh, I'm out of room. All right, well, I'm going to have to make do up here. 76, 76. It really works best if they're in a line, but I can still do this. So what I want you to do is first circle the minimum, 68. Now circle the max. You should have found 76 is the max. Great. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a number line down here, just like I showed you at the beginning of the video. This is 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73. We're going to do 2 parts at once here. What we're doing is on the left here, I'm going to be coming up with the 5-number summary, which is sort of a summary of the data. And so what I did is I found the min was 68 and the max was 76. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line right above each of those on my number line. Okay, so that's going to help me make what's called a box plot or a box and whisker. Okay, next, use your fingers on the screen. It's going to pause you and find the median. Remember, that's where we count inside to get the last one. So I partner them up. I'm going to go ahead and continue. 76 should be partnered up with this, so 70s with 75. And you move your fingers to the inside here. You really can't do it well on the computer. And we see that the median is right here. It's 73 plus 74 divided by 2, or 73.5. So that is the median. That's part of our 5-number summary. We already know how to do it. 73.5. All right, 73.5 gets a line right here. Our next job is to find the quartile 1, or the Q1. Now to find the Q1, we want the median of the left-hand side of the data. We want to break this one. So don't count this as our data, our median. We're going to start with this, the next number, and we never include the median to get Q1. So go ahead and put your fingers there and find the Q1. Q1 is the median of this section, so you partner them up again, 68 with 73, those two, these two, and our Q1 is 71 here. Okay, quartile 1 is what that's called, and it's 71. We're last going to break apart this with quartile 3. We do the same thing on the right-hand side. Go ahead and don't include the median. Partner them up to find the median of this side, which we call the Q3. So I do 74, 76, 75, 76, 75, 75, and 75 is the quartile 3. So let's add lines here at each quartile 1 and quartile 3. 71 goes here, and 75 goes here. So these are what we call the 5-number summary. Done. To do the box and whisker, you add a line above each of those 5 numbers. And what we're going to do is we're going to connect the middle 3 to make a box. And we're going to draw a line out to the min and the max to make what we call the whisker. And it's really just another way we can draw a graph, but a graph of all this data. And what it does is it sort of is breaking down, because this means a quarter of the data, or 25%, is in each section. So you can sort of see how spread out it is. Here's another 25%. Here's another 25%. And as our final question here today, what percent of the data is between here and here? You should have said 25%, because a box and whisker just shows us how spread out each 1/4 of the temperatures are in this case. All right, that covers our lesson on Chapter 9, Lesson 3, two-way tables, this is Chapter 9, Lesson 4 on univariate data. You'll be exploring this idea much more in IM1, but for now, thank your minds and your hearts, and I hope you have a wonderful math afternoon. Thanks. Bye.